So inserting records using data loader. So when you're trying to insert records using data loader, what are the steps that you need to follow? First thing, you will have to store all the records that you want to insert in a spreadsheet. So put all the records in a spreadsheet. Save the file in CSV format, CSV comma delimited format. So XLS format will not be supported. Any other format will not be supported. So you have to ensure that you save your file in .csv format, comma delimited CSV format. Now once your file is ready, you log in into the data loader, select insert operation. Since we are trying to insert records, we'll select the insert operation. Select the object in which data needs to be inserted. Okay. Then browse the CSV file. Map the Salesforce fields to corresponding CSV file columns. Okay, so let's do this much first, and then we'll go to the mapping of the fields. Give me a moment. Let me get the file that we are going to use. Okay, so this is the file which I am going to use. Okay, so what does this file have? File has got different columns and the data, and all these records I want to create in my Salesforce org. Okay, so yeah, you just put your data in a spreadsheet. There are different columns for name, phone, website address, city, state, zip code, country. All right, values from each column will go into the fields in Salesforce. Right now, small thing, there is a possibility that the name of your column is not exactly same as the name of the field. For example, here you have a country column, but in Salesforce there's a field called billing country, and then there is a field called shipping country. So there is nothing called country only. Okay, so that's fine actually. So there's no problem with that. What you can do, you can keep your column names. You can either update these column names to match exactly with your Salesforce field names. Okay, or you can simply keep whatever it is here. Okay, when you are performing the insert operation or any other bulk data operation, Salesforce will give you the option to map the fields, map the fields to the columns. So that option will be given, so don't worry about that. Okay, so even if the field name, the column names are not exactly matching with the field names, it's okay. Okay, so that is the thing. So you just prepare your file, have the columns, and yeah. So once your file is ready, what is that you have to do? You have to save it in a CSV format. So from file save as, you can actually go and save it in .csv format. So that is what you have to do. Once it is saved in the CSV format, you have to go to the data loader. Now let me go to data loader and try to import. So now I'm on data loader. I will click on insert. So first thing that you have to do, you have to choose which object you want to insert the records into. So this time I'm trying to insert records into account. So I'll select account. Choose the CSV file. So browse your CSV file that you want to insert. Let me browse the CSV file. So this browsing is from your computer, so should not be a problem. Just give me one moment. I am trying to browse from my computer. Give me a moment. Yeah. Okay. So I've got this file. I just stopped sharing screen since I was browsing the file through my list of files, but yeah, the simple browse. You just click on this and browse your CSV file wherever it is. Pick it, go to next. All right. Now what does it show? It shows that your operation will contain 995 records, which is fine. I'll click on OK. Okay. Now let's understand the next steps. What will be done? So browsing the CSV file, so far we have done. What is the next thing that we have to do? Map the Salesforce fields to corresponding CSV file columns. So I told you that when you are creating your CSV file, you do not necessarily need to match the column names with the Salesforce field names. So you may have different column names and field names. The next step, what you have to do, you have to map the field names and the columns, the fields and the columns. Which column goes into which field, that matching you have to do. There's an option of auto match. Okay, so this auto match can be used if field and column names are same. So while you're doing the field mapping, if the column and the field names are same, then auto match will automatically do the mapping. If it is not same, then you have to manually do it. Okay. All right. So let's do the field mapping. Let me go to data loader and do the field mapping. Yeah. So create or edit map. You are here. You have just selected the file. Now you have to map the fields. So this, once you click on this create or edit map button, on the top you will get to see all the Salesforce fields, and in the bottom window you get to see all the columns of your CSV file. Okay, try doing an auto match. Some of these fields will be auto matched. See, phone number, website, whatever is matching, name, phone, website, has got automatically matched. Now other fields I can map manually, like city here is billing city here, so I can drag and put this here. Billing country, billing state, yeah. Billing street address goes into address here, and billing zip code will go here. Got it? So you do your manual mapping and click on OK. So now again you have one more option here. One, you can just create the map. Okay. Now if you feel that the same format file you're going to use again and again with the same column names, what you can do, you can save this mapping. Okay, so now if you save this mapping, next time when you're using a file with the same column names, you can use that mapping so that it reduces your manual effort. Correct? So this mapping, if you want to save that, address refers to billing street, city refers to billing city, country refers to billing country. This mapping, if you want to store, you can save it. Sometimes there will be scenarios where you are buying your data from a vendor, and vendor gives you the file in the same format with the same column names every time. So in that case, rather than you doing manual setting every time, you just save the map once. Now every time you can just use the same map, so you do not have to manually do it again and again. Okay, so that is the option. So yeah, I'm not saving it right now. I just click on OK. So my field mapping is done. What is the next thing that I have to do? Next is browse the location for saving log files, success and error log files. Okay, so next step is basically you have to give a location, give a directory location where you would want your log files to be stored. Okay, now what are these log files? Log files are basically the files which will store success and error records. Okay, so in case you could successfully say I am processing 1000 records, out of 1000 records 900 records got processed without an error successfully, and 100 records were not processed. Now what do you do? How do you figure out which 100 records were not processed? So this data loader will give you a success log file and an error log file. Success log file will have all the records which have been processed. error log file will have all the records which were not processed properly. All right. So I'm going to define a location to store the success and error log file. That's what your next step is. So when you click on next step, it will ask you for a directory location. Okay. Browse and put a directory location where you want your success and error log files to be stored. Just choose a directory. Under downloads, I have created a folder called data loader logs. So this is what I have. I can inside that I've created another folder. So I've selected this folder. That's it. Okay. So now whatever logs can go inside this particular folder. Okay. Success and error log files can go inside this folder. Okay. Now, what is the next thing that you do? The next, all that you have to do is you just have to click on finish to start processing of records. Once all records are processed, data loader creates a success and error log file. So it will create two files. One will be a success log file and one will be an error log file. Both success and error log files will get stored in the error log directory that you just defined. Okay. So once processing is done, data loader will create two log files. One will be a success log file, one will be an error log file. Both the files will get stored in the same error log directory, which we just defined in the last step. And your success log file will contain all the records which were inserted successfully. Error log file will contain all the records which could not be inserted due to some error. And it will also, there will be an additional column which will tell you about the error, right? So now, if 100 records could not be inserted, you can go to the error log file, look into what was the error, make the corrections, and then next time you can process only those 100 records. You don't have to, do it for all 1000 records. Make sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and proceed with this. Defined, I'll click on finish. Yeah, so you have chosen to insert new records. Click yes to begin. Okay, yes. So processing, processed 0 of 995, total records 600. So this processing is happening in batch. If you see, initially it was showing 0 and then it is showing 600 and all. Okay, so this operation has fully completed. There were 993, so total 995 records were there. 993 were successfully inserted, 2 errors are there. Okay, now where can you find this success and error? You can go to that error log directory that you have defined, the log directory that you have defined. You can actually go there and you can find these files. Now, for now, what you can do, you can also click on this view success and view error. Okay, so from this particular pop-up, you have the option to view success or error. Click on this button. You can see this. So success anyhow 993. Let me see the errors. I'll just click on this. So these two records could not be inserted, and what is the error? Duplicate detected. Okay, so these are two duplicate records. So possibly these records are already there in the system, so these records could not be created. Other 993 records got created into the system, so that is fine. If you click on view success, it will show you the success file also here. Okay, so you can see it here, or you can, right now you can just click on this button and see it. At any point of time, you can go to your log directory and open that particular file and see that. Okay, records inserted successfully. Okay, small thing that you would notice here is when I created the file, my file had account name, phone, website, and all those things. ID was not there. Now, since the records have got created, there's the salesforce.com ID generated for all the records. So what I've got the IDs also now, right? So that is it. So right now you have got the IDs of all the records, and these are the records which have successfully got created. Now let me open the CSV file, the success and error log CSV file from the folder that we had. Give me a moment. Let me see where it is. I'll take a minute to search for the folder. There's a lot of unwanted data in my computer. Yeah. So this is the directory where we selected to store the log files. So you can just go to that directory and you will see the success file and error file. Okay, now if I open this success file, I should be able to see all the 993 records. Yeah, this is the success file. Okay, in addition to all the columns that we inserted, the last column, there are two more columns which get added. The last column which is saying items created, and the first column which has got the IDs. So IDs were not supplied by me. IDs got system generated, and in the log file you get the IDs. Okay, that is it. That's all we'll discuss in this video. Thanks for watching. For more videos in this series, you can look for the link in description below or visit my website. Goodbye and take care.